Christmas is usually a time for families, but often it is also a time for duty. And being a former soldier, I did find myself on occasions being on duty over Christmas time. Now, one of these occasions sticks in my mind as being particularly unusual. Imagine, if you will, myself as a 26-year-old junior captain in an infantry battalion. I was operations officer of a company of 120 men, and sometimes that's called a second in command. And we'd just come back from a very grueling tour, operational tour, and we'd lost 3 soldiers, one of which was under my command, and about 15 seriously wounded, including our padre and our commanding officer, who were wounded. So we were looking forward to a promised 4-week holiday. The whole battalion, apart from the skeleton crew, would go on holiday over Christmas time. So this was late November, just coming into December. So the idea was that we would go back to our barracks in Catterick Camp and stay there for about a week, getting ourselves sorted out, getting all the kit put away, and then we would go on holiday. And we would go over Christmas and come back in the 2nd week in January. And then one day, during this week, in the barracks, we got a message that all leave was to be cancelled. Not just us, but also we found other units were being told their leave had been cancelled. So we were very shocked, really, as to what could have happened to have caused this very unusual situation. And we were told a bit later that this was because there was going to be a national firemen's strike, and it was going to be probably lasting 2 months, right over the Christmas period, and we were going to fill in as firemen for that period. So in due course, we got delivered 20 green goddesses. These are old fire engines which have been kept in reserve, and they were 1940s vehicles. They all had wonderful 6-digit number plates, and they had wooden frames and things like that, really extraordinary vehicles. We had 20 of them. And because my company commander was going on holiday to get married, he'd also gone on a long leave, I was left in charge of the 120 men in my company, 3 platoon commanders. And I was given 6 green goddesses, 1 fire tender, RAF, 1 Navy fire tender. And my position was that I was going to be firefighting in Newcastle. One company would be in Gateshead, another company in Sunderland, and another company in South Shields. So I had the whole of Newcastle to look after, and I had 3 bases, 2 green goddesses in each base. I had a Land Rover. So there we were, and we did find that the local population were very hospitable. They would give us cakes and all sorts of things. But we had to keep everyone up in their morale. Morale was quite a difficult thing because most of them wanted to go home for Christmas. So we engendered some 6-a-side football competition, and we also got people rotated very easily so they could do other things. But Christmas was coming up. So the plan that we had between myself and the Sergeant Major, who was my second in command, was to get every single soldier out for a lunch somewhere. And we did find people were offering to give us Christmas lunches. And so we put the word around to a few more people, and we found that we had enough people inviting our soldiers out for lunch to have everyone out, including the ones on duty on the day. They would be rotated, so there'd be an early lunch for some and a late lunch for others. The other thing that was very unusual was that I was given a keg of rum by the government to dispense whenever I needed to. I kept it in the back of a Land Rover, and whenever we went to a fire, I would give the soldiers a tot of rum. And they had no protective equipment and only the combat dress, but we did have fire officers with us occasionally. We did have one soldier get killed, actually. One of the green goddesses went round a corner on a flyover in Newcastle, and it turned over and the driver was killed. So it was not without its dangers. But come Christmas Day, there we were, we got everyone out, and I went to a retired colonel who was in the King's Regiment, and he had made contact with us quite early on, and we had formed a friendship, and he was very happy to have me for lunch. And I went back and relieved the Sergeant Major, and he went off for his lunch. So that was what happened, and I'm just going to tell you, the question might be, did we have any fires on Christmas Day? Well, we did. And there are 15 entries in my log here, which I managed to keep after the operation finished. They're called Op Burberry. And I'm just going to read 3 to you, just to give you an idea of what we used to put down here. Small fire, 0950. Small fire on Christmas Day. Property, fire, Carrick Road, biker, local unit, damping down. So 1 fire engine was deployed for that. We have another one here. 1540. Small fire, the car fire, 72 Gordon House Estate, Crawcott, extinguished by unit. And then thirdly, small fire, cooker fire inside a house, 21 Devon Road, Monkton, Hebden, extinguished by unit deployed. So perhaps when we have our Christmas time, let us try and remember that there are people who are going to be on duty. And certainly this, to me, gave me a fantastic insight into the work of the fire service and the fire officers and the fire crews that I have with me, the Navy crew and the RAF crew. And when we finished there, the last day, we all formed up, and I was extraordinary to see that I had all 3 services under my command, plus the police, plus the fire service, all lined up with all their staff. It was the most remarkable operation, really, and we all learned a great deal. And I hope you all have a very safe Christmas.